Their net was wide and unimaginably primed to inflict terror at an unprecedented scale. From just one room, viewers, hundreds of kilos of explosives were recovered, enough to bomb 20, 30, 50 sites, viewers, we are being told. And all of this was being done somehow, unbeknownst to anyone else in that particular university, in that facility, and in the larger ecosystem. No one seems to know. No family members seem to have known. No friends seem to have known. But these individuals, viewers, were committed for 2-3 years at a time. How they kept this so quiet boggles the mind. 4 terror suspects, Dr. Umar Nabi, Dr. Muzammil, Dr. Shaheen and Dr. Farooq, as you know, are linked to this Al-Falah University. The bomber, Dr. Umar Nabi, was a faculty member and reportedly stayed at Al-Falah University for 7 years. And Dr. Umar Nabi reportedly used the labs at Al-Falah University to test the explosives. How did someone not know that all of this was going on for such an extended period of time? Either these people were extremely secretive, or, viewers, there is a larger collusion. I don't want to jump to any conclusions. The third, Dr. Muzammil Shakil from Pulwama, was a faculty member and stayed at Al-Falah University for 3 years. Dr. Muzammil Shakil's room was reportedly used for planning and coordination by the terror module, so things must have existed in that room, viewers, literature, so on and so forth, and lo and behold, that has been recovered. How they kept that away from other faculty members, one doesn't. How they explain the presence of that material to other faculty members, I don't. The terror cell planned logistics and transport routes for ammonium nitrate at Al-Falah University. So all the planning was being done there. Dr. Shaheen Shahid, the lady doctor, had moved to Al-Falah as a faculty member and got introduced to Umar and Muzammil. And as you know, one of these individuals, viewers, who is another member of this Al-Falah University, was somebody who had been externed by no less an authority than the Jammu and Kashmir governor for having links with terror. He relocates and joins this university and they don't do a background check. And it's a very public case that that person had been removed. Now, academic circles are small, viewers, everyone knows. Are we to assume that while that person was in that university for all that period of time, no one knew that he had a past like this? He was designated dangerous. Anyway, Dr. Shaheen Shahid, the lady doctor, revealed another suspect, Dr. Farooq, who studied at Al-Falah University, and I'm talking about that person. He was from GS Medical College in Hapur in Uttar Pradesh. There is a chilling story of how education, faith and fanaticism fused into a deadly conspiracy. The Al-Falah cell from Delhi to Pulwama, from Hapur to Dubai, and with clear footprints leading to Istanbul, Turkey and Pakistan, wasn't an isolated case of radical drift. It was a meticulously planned, ideologically driven terror network, viewers. What do we know of this web? There's a possible ISI hand, and it's visible tax and training of the perpetrators. This could only have been done by somebody who knew what they were doing. Name of Pakistan-based Abu Okasha has emerged via interrogations as an external handler based out of Turkey. Agencies believe he functioned in the role of a Pak state-directed handler, and Dr. Muzaffar Rathar, brother of Dr. Adil Rathar, has emerged as a key link to the handler. So now you see the web. Dr. Muzaffar Rathar is an MBBS graduate from Jammu and an MD in pediatrics from Kashmir. Dr. Muzaffar coordinated communications, money transfers and logistics from Dubai. Travel records show Dr. Muzammil and Dr. Muzaffar Rathar travelled to Istanbul in 2022 and met this fellow, the Pakistan handler. After the arrest of Dr. Adil, Dr. Muzaffar has reportedly moved to Afghanistan. How cleverly, viewers, how quickly, with great alacrity, these people get out. 2 female suspects from Srinagar and Anantnag are involved in terror logistics. It just doesn't end. This is a huge circus, viewers. And I'm calling it a circus because, viewers, the joke's on us. 2 female doctors cleared their MBBS from Dhaka Medical College. These 2 female doctors coordinated logistics, movements of funds and safe houses in the most intensely monitored region of this country. And 2 female doctors then come in contact with Maulvi Irfan during internship in Srinagar. They also get radicalized because at the head of all of this is the Maulvi, or at the center of it. So investigators say religion was the primary motivator. Yet even as agencies join the dots, there's a parallel narrative of denial and deflection. Some political voices are already soft-peddling the religious angle, even floating theories of quote political conspiracies unquote. But who are these enablers and apologists who hide in plain sight? Here's the list, viewers. Just a few. Zamir Ahmed Khan, Karnataka minister, no less, viewers, sworn to uphold the constitution. He says the bomb blast happened on the 10th and there were elections in Bihar on the 11th. We have heard there is political involvement in this. Home Minister Amit Shah should provide an answer, unquote. Implying, viewers, that this has nothing to do with any considered Islamist module or Pakistan or any external agency. It is done by the BJP's IT cell. Can you believe it, viewers? This is a Congress minister whose salaries you pay. Basavaraj Raya Reddy, advisor to the Karnataka Chief Minister. Sample his 2 pennies, viewers. He says they might have felt they couldn't win Bihar after the first phase, so they tried in the second phase. I can't allege directly, but it raises suspicion. BJP and Prime Minister are not as clean as they claim, unquote. So now, viewers, it's gone beyond the IT cell in the Congress imagination to the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. They, in fact, have done all of this so that they can get a few more votes. Then there is the learned P. Chidambaram, ex-Union Home Minister, viewers. And he said there are 2 kinds of terrorists, foreign terrorists and homegrown ones. I was mocked and trolled for the reference to homegrown terrorists. We should ask ourselves, what are the circumstances that turn Indian citizens, even educated persons, into terrorists, unquote. Viewers, when you leave a question hanging like that without trying to supply the answer, what are you insinuating? Think about that. What do you think Mr. Chidambaram is trying to say? Oh, that there is, you see, Hindutva in this country. And it has been said before, by the way. Robert Vadra, in fact, said it right the day after Pahalgam. So if there's Hindutva, there has to be a backlash. That's what he's trying to say, answering the question. Then there's Mehbooba Mufti, PDP chief. Our educated doctors are suffering, she says. I want a complete and fair investigation of the Delhi blast. As if, viewers, we are conducting an unfair one. Then she goes on to say, if doctors are involved in this attack, then it is very harmful for all of us. I appeal to the Delhi government to conduct a free and fair investigation. They are not involved. This is not good. Those involved should be punished, but don't harass innocents. Viewers, if the brother of the lady doctor hadn't been arrested, we wouldn't have known the other dots that feed into this web. And if you question the relatives, then of course you're an Islamophobe. That is what Mehbooba ji thinks. Now, viewers, is India confronting a 5th column? One that provides cover fire and alibis for extremists. There's Abu Azmi of the Samajwadi Party. You should listen to what he has been saying. How deep is the rot of ideological indoctrination that now seeps into classrooms and labs? And why do some of our political class always rush to rationalize terror instead of recognizing it, accepting it? And with the same alacrity that they call out, let's say, Hindu terror or Hindutva terror, why don't they come out and say there is something called Islamist terror? No, but they will say that terror has no religion. This isn't simply a war on terror, viewers, but a war on mindsets. And there are people, can you believe it? There are people in Assam who have been putting stuff out on Facebook in support of these doctors. Thank goodness the Assam Chief Ministers had the sense to file cases against them. This is what we are up against, and I want to open this up, viewers. We have to have a reasonable, rational debate tonight. And I want to first begin with Nikhil Jain, lawyer and political analyst, who's a sympathizer of the Congress government. And look, Nikhil Jain, I know that you are a supporter of the Congress, but you probably are also patriot first. I would hope so. So I want you to tell me, do you agree with Zamir Ahmed Khan, the Karnataka Housing Minister, or Basavaraj Rea Reddy, advisor of the Karnataka Chief Minister? If you can answer this question directly, I'd be most happy.
Rahul, I'm a patriot first. I'm an Indian citizen first, and that is also the reason why I support the Congress over a party like the BJP, which likes to give member of parliament tickets to terror accused. Secondly, so far as the comments by these leaders from Karnataka is concerned, they are raising a question about something that a lot of people in the country are wondering. But the bigger question that needs to be raised, that has been raised by national leaders of the Congress,
do you support
is where
them,
is
yes
the
or no?
accountability?
No, 1 second. Nikhil Jain, do you support these two?
No, they're voicing the opinion of the people,
Okay,
and
now, just stop there. Okay, fair enough. You clarified that. Now, viewers, which are these people who could be saying that a bomb blast that kills people in this country? Who are these people? I want to meet these people because they have no right to be Indian citizens. Just think about it, viewers. These people, these Zamir Ahmed Khans who are voicing an opinion on behalf of the people, what are they saying? That this particular bomb blast has taken place because the BJP wanted it to be done. This is what they're saying.
So are you saying that the person who was made the governor of Jammu and Kashmir has no right to be an Indian citizen? Satyapal Malik said pretty much the same thing about the Pulwama terror attack.
Nikhil Jain. 1 second. Calm down. I'm not talking to you, sir.
Let's talk about the
I
fact
asked
that
you
the
a question.
CRPF
You want to have a
had
shouting match with me? I'll
asked
lower your
their
fader
convoy,
immediately.
but they were not
I do
given
not like.
choppers.
Lower his fader.
ROPs were.
Okay, done. Don't like this. Night after night, people talking over you. Have they got verbal diarrhea? Are they so full of self-importance that they just want to hear their own voices? Because you have to ask yourself a question sometimes. What is going on in our country? We have mainstream intellectuals like Nikhil Jain, who's a lawyer, who comes out and says, yes, we must give credence to rumors that, yes, this happened at the behest of the BJP. And he says he's a patriot. I mean, the Pakistanis will give you the Nizam-e whatever award they have there. God-awful award you can wear on your lapel and roam around looking very smug. Can you believe it, viewers? This is how sick we have become in the head. Because of our political differences, what is the difference between us and Americans? You tell us, viewers. They will side with anyone there, viewers, even if it comes to being Hamas, to prove a point. This is exactly what's happening in our country. And if you ask them, oh, they're voicing the opinion of a people. If some garbage is wanting to voice an opinion, would a minister of the realm become the mouthpiece of garbage? Viewers, think about it. What are these people telling us? I want to open this up. I want to bring in the BJP immediately. And I want you to answer Mr. Nikhil Jain. I mean, he believes that the BJP can stoop to any level to do all of this. I mean, that is what some Satyapal, Malik or Shanik or somebody like that was doing and saying. So please respond.
You know, Rahul, first things first, let me make one thing very, very clear, and I'm not going to hold back my punches. Terrorists have names and terror has a religion, and that religion is radical Islam. Now, let me make one thing very clear for the benefit of your viewers. 26/11 Mumbai terror attack, 2008 Jaipur blast, 2008 Rampur attack, 2008 Bengaluru blast, 2008 Ahmedabad blast, Delhi blast, 2008 Agartala blast, Imphal blast, Assam blast, and don't forget 2009 Pune bombing, 2010 Varanasi bombing, 2011 Delhi bombing, 2012 Pune blast, 2013 Hyderabad blast, 2013 Bangalore and Srinagar blast. Who was in power in the center? The Congress party, and it refused to take action. Point number one. Point number two, Hussain Dalwai, a former Rajya Sabha member of the Congress, 24 hours back said, why are we punishing innocent people? After the radical Islamist doctor module came out in the open, and we realized that joblessness is not what leads some people to pick up AK-47. There are jihadis under the garb of being doctors. There are jihadis under the garb of being intellectuals. There are jihadis under the garb of being professors. इनको 2 वक्त की रोटी ना मिले इसलिए ये जिहादी बनते हैं, ये नैरेटिव गलत है। ये जिहादी बनते हैं क्योंकि इनको इंडोक्ट्रिनेट किया जाता है। एंड नाउ लेट मी कम टू द मूट पॉइंट। यस, there may have been lapses, but 10-11 will be avenged as said by Prime Minister Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah. 10-11 will not end up becoming another 26-11 when the then Indian Air Force Chief Fali Homi Major said we were willing to avenge the Mumbai terror attack, but proxy government of Sonia Gandhi said Lashkar-e-Toiba ke khilaf koi action nahi lena chahiye. My final point, Rahul, please bear with me for 10 seconds. My final point is this. I want to tell your audience one thing. Osama bin Laden, he was an engineer. How can we call him a terrorist? Then don't forget, Yaqub Memon was a rank-holding chartered accountant. How can we call him a terrorist? Burhan Wani was a young, upcoming social activist. How can we call him a terrorist? And of course, Afzal Guru was a PhD scholar. How can we call him a terrorist?
Yeah.
Hafiz Saeed is a master in Islamic studies. How can we call him a terrorist? The limited point is this. There are two kinds of people we need to worry about, Rahul. A, of course, the terrorists who engage in white-collar crime, as we saw in the Delhi blast module. And two, an entire Darbari ecosystem, which is terror apologists in nature and empathizes with them.
The reason you listed about 25 incidents of terror, there might be even more, under the UPA was to suggest that, look, does that mean that the UPA was timing all these before elections and this, that, the other to get benefit? So that's the point-to-point response, logic response to Nikhil Jain viewers. That's why she listed all those. Because by that logic, by the logic of the great Zamir Ahmed Khan and Bassav Raya Reddy, they might have felt they couldn't win Bihar after the first phase, so they triggered a bomb. Viewers, I don't know which country's patriots these are. I mean, I really don't know. If tomorrow the Americans want proof, for instance, they'll say, but you know, there are enough people. Like the Karnataka housing minister, he's senior member, Tushar Gupta, of the Congress party in Karnataka. Ishkaran is also here with us. So, Tushar Gupta, when somebody says this, it carries a lot of weight. When the advisor to the chief minister himself says something like this, when they've only taken the big leaders, I haven't taken the small fry, the Abu Hazmis and the Hazmis and the has-beens and God knows what else, viewers. I haven't even considered them. Because how many are you going to bring out and put their faces on national TV and popularize them, viewers? Because they're getting kicks out of this. So I want to ask you, now, Mr. Gupta, this is a fundamental question tonight. You see, terror has a religion, it's political Islam. It recognizes nothing like the nation state, an inclusive secular society like ours, even moderate Islam. So why are these people signing up to this? What is happening here? I mean, you ask, I probably will ask the Samajwadi Party spokesperson, he said this is a backlash because, you know, they feel alienated because of the rise of people like Yogi Adityanath and Hindutva. They'll say something like that. I don't know. I'm not wanting to preempt you, Silas Saab. I hope you won't, but some people will. So I want to ask you, where does this come from?
The question is to me?
No, I'm asking Mr. Gupta, then you can respond.
Okay.
Good evening, Rahul. Look, I don't understand. There are 6 of us on this panel. Assuming there were 12 of us, one member each from the minority community, there would be 12 of us. What I do not understand is why does the political opposition in this country do not understand that when the terrorists will come for all of us, the 12 of us, they won't care for a religion. They won't care for which party we speak for. They won't care which government we hail. They won't care which tribe we belong to. They don't care for which state we come from. I never understood why does the political opposition look for politics and terrorism that is out there not against the BJP or the Congress or the Samajwadi. It's against India and every single Indian. The opposition or some members of the opposition are saying, oh, the bomb blast was to distract you from the Delhi pollution or because of the Bihar election.
Yes.
My question is, does the bomb question the voters, question its victims? Where do you vote for? Who do you vote for? Who do you support? And then explode? What kind of rhetoric are we plagued by in a mainstream discourse? It's appalling. Nikhil Jain here is being smug about the comments being made by some opposition leaders, but if he's a true patriot, he should hang his head in shame, as we all are. That you cannot have a nation so disgruntled that it is now preaching, it is now literally parroting the agenda of Pakistan as it did during Operation Sindoor as well, some of them. You have to understand these terrorists, they are coming for all of us Indians. I think we can all agree that everyone on this panel is an Indian first before being a supporter of a certain party. And yet every time a terrorist attack happens, be it Pahalgam, be it Delhi, it's all about, oh, BJP did this, Congress did this. Do you know 13 people died in Delhi? Can you tell me, Nikhil Jain, today? Can you tell me, Mr. Silas, who was a BJP voter amongst them? Who was an AAP voter amongst them? Who was a Congress voter amongst them? Can you categorize these 13 people as per their voting preferences? You cannot. And if you cannot, what is the point of all this logic that, oh, you are tormenting a certain community? The investigating agencies are doing their job so that tomorrow no other bomb explodes. And Rahul, with all the findings that have been made public by the police so far, they were not just going for 2 or 3 bomb blasts. They were trying to do a Bombay 1993 5 times the magnitude.
Yeah.
And it has been foiled by intelligence agencies. Instead of discussing the kind of attacks our country is under threat from, the opposition is saying, oh, let's look between BJP and the Congress. I'm appalled and very, very disappointed.
And between phase one and phase 2, can you believe? One second. Let me just get in Ishkan Bhandari and then Mr. Silas. Mr. Bhandari, look, I want to ask you a series of questions because you're a lawyer. I don't know, I think Silas Saab, you're also a lawyer, right? No, you're not. Luckily, you're not. So I would have grilled you otherwise. But yes. Now, Mr. Bhandari, let me ask you this question. Who was Afzal Guru sentenced to death by?
The courts.
Yeah, the Supreme Court, right?
Upheld till the Supreme Court, and then a mercy petition was rejected. So he was duly through the process of law.
Now, can I ask you my second question? Do you remember in 2016 there were a group of young people, Janoonis as they were called, who said, Afzal tere qatil zinda hai. It's a long, very long.
Hum sharminda hai. Hum
sharminda hai. Afzal tere qatil zinda hai. Who were they referring to?
That is the beauty, Rahul. Even today.
No, so who were they referring to? Just answer. I'll ask you the next question. Who were they referring to? The Supreme Court.
They don't directly say it, but it is very obvious they are referring to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, so they were referring to the Supreme Court. Now, they were very clever in their wordplay, but everyone understood that, and they called it a judicial execution in their pamphlet. So if you put 2 and 2 together, remember viewers, they were accusing the Supreme Court of conducting an unlawful execution of what they believed was, viewers, a patriot. This is a man who attacked Parliament. Now I want to ask you, Ishkan Bhandari, do you know that one of those individuals, which party he joined? In Bihar? Congress Party.
I can
Congress
guess.
Party. And
That's a lie.
he's
Rahul,
a young,
that's a lie.
he's a young
That's
Bihari
lie.
gentleman.
That's
And his name is Kanhaiya Kumar.
That's a lie. That's
And you
a
know
lie.
who
That's
came
an
and stood
absolute
next
lie.
to these
You can't
people?
lie on national
Stop
media
shouting.
like this.
Isn't
But you're lying.
Kanhaiya Kumar your party leader?
Kanhaiya Kumar never said that. There is no proof to that.
It is in the posters on which his name is printed. It is in the posters on which his name is printed.
No,
That it's a
that's a
judicial
lie, that's a
execution,
lie.
sir. You were
Show
not
the
born
poster,
then.
show the
8
poster.
years or 9 years
Show the
ago, you were a
poster.
young child running around with
Show
your
the
thumb in your
poster.
mouth. So don't talk
Show
rot.
the poster.
Go and look up
Show
the
the
facts.
poster. Don't lie.
Don't look up. Please go and look up the
Show
facts.
poster. I'll be lying.
Don't look up. Go and
Show
look
the
up the
poster.
facts. Don't come
Show
here.
the poster.
Okay,
I know
viewers,
the facts.
viewers,
I
one
know the
second. Stop shouting.
I'm
Why are you
sitting
shouting
and
all the
reading
time?
facts. I'm not getting
What is
right
your
with you.
hysteria about, sir? You have credited yourself
My
with being a
hysteria is about
person.
the fact that you try to defame a leader of the principal opposition party
He
of
can
the
take
country.
legal action against me, no problems. Viewers, there was a poster. One second. There was a poster put up in February 2016 to mark the anniversary of this hanging, and in that poster were names of several people. One of them was also Kanhaiya Kumar. It was a candlelight vigil in JNU. That is why he got into a lot of problems. The thing he got off for was that he supposedly did not issue the slogans that were renting the air that night. So he got away. But you know who shared
I
a
was not
stage?
a part of
One
it.
second.
How
Sir,
do you
please,
put the
sir,
blame or
please,
onus on
please,
him?
please, sir, please allow me. I'm not
Nikhil,
lying
it's a
here.
question to me.
I'm not
So
lying
let
here. I've
me-
written
Why?
about it.
Rahul is
Okay, okay.
setting out
Yes,
his
yes, I'm a
perspective.
liar.
Show
What
the
am I
proof.
getting out of it, sir?
Show
A
the proof.
lawsuit? Am I a fool? Please, one second. Now, just wait. So, the fact of the matter, viewers, is this. Fine, the man is exonerated, but who shared a stage when they were not exonerated with them? It was Rahul Gandhi. He went to JNU with a bunch of other left leaders.
Do you
And who was one
understand
of those
how
individuals?
fallacious his
Yes,
argument is?
yes,
An
someone is
individual
raising their
has been
hand.
acquitted by
Rahul.
a
Mr.
court on
Gupta,
a
one
particular
second. Mr.
charge.
Gupta is raising his hand. Yes, yes, point of order. Yeah. Well, I'll come to give me, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Tushar Gupta, yes. Tushar Gupta, can you hear me? Have I
Rahul,
lost
can
it?
I come?
I think, yes, Ishkan Bhandari. Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Rahul,
Yeah.
your team just displayed the statement of a former home minister.
Yeah.
I will just start from that statement because there are three strategies which restart after every terror attack. The last part of that statement was the point of this tweet is we should ask ourselves what are the circumstances that turn Indian citizens, even educated persons, into terrorists. Now, if you were to do an honest examination of it, examine the religious motives, examine the funding coming into various madrasas. These people, if you were to honestly examine the reasons, will start crying India is becoming a religiously intolerant state. We need to be intolerant on terrorism, and wherever the angles lead, we have to go there. That's the first point. The second point comes in the conspiracy theories, which they will bring out that this happened because of this reason indirectly, either as the example you gave, blaming the courts or blaming the central government, and hoping enough racket, enough muss is created, which international audiences pick up in the age of social media, and it hampers India's ability to take actions because you're trying to bring the Indian government under suspicion. This is the old tactic they had against the army in Jammu and Kashmir. Nothing new about it, where they kept blaming the army for every ill. The third aspect of this is whitewashing. And I want to read from one magazine, if you dared call it a magazine, but it's basically a pamphlet, which says, for after cracking the national exam, Nabi was a hard-working student known as an intelligent medico during his years. For his relatives and neighbors, the young man was a shining example. For his girlfriend, Hitler was a shining example, a man of power who gave her a great lifestyle.
Rahul?
What
Yeah.
articles are these where you try to whitewash? So these three tactics, examine reason, conspiracy theories, whitewash, we need to get serious as a nation. People who are indirectly saying this, we need to expose them, and the government needs to crack down and understand, be it women, be it professionals, nobody is immune from this virus of doing terror, and crack on all of them ruthlessly.
Okay.
Rahul,
Yes. Yes.
thank you. Rahul, I want to make one very important point. Since P. Chidambaram has decided to speak on homegrown terror, I think the biggest homegrown terror in the last 7.5 decades has been Naxal terror. And I'm very proud to say, as the national spokesperson of BJP, that thank God you have Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister and Amit Shah as the Home Minister. Let's not forget, under the direct aegis of Amit Shah since January 2024, 2,100 Naxalites have surrendered, 1,785 Naxalites have been arrested, and 477 have been neutralized. And don't forget, Rahul, I was there on your show when we had this breaking news, whereby under Operation Black Forest, earlier in 2013, there were 287 Naxal-infested districts. Today, Naxal-infested districts are down to 3.
I understand all of that. We get that. Look, no doubt that one must sort of go against. Yes, Mr. Gupta, we lost you. You were raising your hand and making a point. Yeah, and I want to bring in Mr. Silas right after. Yes.
Nikhil Jain was saying that Kanhaiya Kumar did not make that remark, or he was, being attributed a wrong remark. Nevertheless, Nikhil Jain, do you know in 2016 it was the Congress workers in Allahabad who were protesting the statement made by Kanhaiya Kumar, and in 2029 suddenly Kanhaiya Kumar becomes a member of the Congress. So my question is, Was the Congress wrong then when they were protesting those remarks, those statements by Kanhaiya Kumar? Or was the Congress wrong in 2021? Or was the Congress wrong in 2025 when they chose to have Kanhaiya Kumar lead the Bihar campaign and have now end up probably with just less than 30 seats out of 60?
Well, let's see. They'll say that is because of vote chori. We'll come to that also. But forget it. Listen, there's no point. Mr. Jain will just start shouting. There's no point. He's not reasonable. I just want to read out a paragraph. One second. I just want to read out a paragraph from the NDTV report, since they all consider the NDTV of 2016 to be gospel. Let me read out. Kanhaiya was arrested on February 12th in a sedition case over an event on campus against the hanging of Parliament attack convict Afzal Guru, during which anti-national slogans were allegedly raised. He was granted interim bail for 6 months by the Delhi High Court last week, and this was a copy that was filed on the 10th of March 2016. Viewers, that event, as I said, was to commemorate the hanging of Afzal Guru. There was a poster that was put out. That's how everyone got to know about it. And in the course of that, some slogans were chanted. Eventually, it turned out that Kanhaiya Kumar did not utter those slogans. And he later also went out to backtrack. And he said, listen, I wasn't, even in... for me, Rohit Vemula is a greater icon than Afzal Guru. Though he did once time say that when he was asked flatly, do you think Afzal Guru is a terrorist? He said, if Afzal Guru is a terrorist, so is Godse. So there was again that kind of sort of whataboutou. But in any case, one second. Let me just bring it.
If you're done spreading lies, can I?
Okay, just one second. Please, just silence. Please, just silence. I'll come back to you. Mr. Silas has been waiting his turn. I'll come back to you. I promise you. You can set the record straight. Yeah. Now, Mr. Silas, I have to ask you a question. The Karnataka Housing Minister, an ally of your party, the Samajwadi Party, belongs to the Congress, says the bomb blast happened on the 10th and there were elections in Bihar on the 11th. Do you support a statement that insinuates that the BJP is behind this?
No, I don't support the statement.
Why?
At all. Because, no.
Why?
This is something very, something that is very disturbing.
Disturbing.
I don't think anyone would say something like that. Even Prashant Kishore said something similar to that. I condemn him as well.
So you condemn him. So one second, Mr. Silas, I want to ask you a question. If you find this disturbing and condemnable, and I haven't even come to Basavaraj Raya Reddy, his statement is taking it even further. So I'm asking you, should action be taken by the Congress against individuals like this?
Let me come to the main point, Rahul.
No, आप ये main point नहीं आपको लगता?
मैं बोल रहा हूँ. In the initial.
एक मंत्री कहता है कि बीजेपी ने बम ब्लास्ट करवाए विदाउट प्रूफ ऑफ कोर्स, क्योंकि इलेक्शंस हैं और आपको डिस्टर्बिंग लगता है और आप सोचते हैं सर कि ये छोटा मोटा क्वेश्चन है जो अटेंशन एकदम डाइवर्ट कर देता है फ्रॉम द मेन इश्यू.
नहीं राहुल जी, देखिए अभी कन्हैया कुमार जी की भी बात हो रही थी, तो कन्हैया कुमार को अगर उन्होंने ऐसा स्टेटमेंट दिया तो जेल में क्यों नहीं है? भारतीय जनता पार्टी को उनको जेल में डालना चाहिए था.
बट यू रेज हमारे देश में, बिकॉज़ हमारे देश में कुछ चीज होती है फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच.
लेट मी स्पीक सर, यू आर गिविंग मी अ चांस आफ्टर हाफ एन आवर. लेट मी. यू रेज अ वेरी पर्टिनेंट क्वेश्चन इन द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द शो दैट how did someone didn't know as to why the conspiracy was going on for the last 3 years? What were the agencies doing? And secondly, you said that somewhere down the line, possible ISI hand could be there, Pakistani hand could be there in the Delhi blast. But as Sanju Verma said, I can also remind her of a lot of things. Uri happened, Amarnath attack happened, Kargil happened, Pathankot happened, Pulwama happened, Parliament attack happened, Akshardham happened, Pahalgam happened, Kandahar happened. We all know it has been going on since long.
I want to answer.
But someone has to take the responsibility, no?
Okay.
Even after 72 hours.
So now you are talking, you're now talking about a issue about accountability. I'm not actually. I'm talking about a different. No, 1 second. You're not on the same debate, sir. The debate tonight is, if you have people who are apologists in this own country for acts of terror and terrorists, what are you doing? You're enabling more. No. Anyhow, 1 second.
Rahul.
Let's not get into this blame game, because the BJP will turn around and say, "Aapne to kuch hi nahi kiya tha after 26
and
we will have." Very quickly answer it. I want to come to Nikhil Jain and wrap this up. Yes.
What do you want to answer?
Well, let her answer, sir. आपने सवाल पूछे हैं तो उनका जवाब सुन लीजिए. Yes.
मिस्टर साइलस, आपने सवाल पूछा, जवाब सुनने की हिम्मत रखिए.
नहीं, हिम्मत है, आपसे ज्यादा है, बोलिए.
हाँ, तो चुप रहिए, अभी सुनिए.
सुन तो लीजिए ना सर, सुन लीजिए. क्या आप किसी को? हाँ.
I will say on Rahul Shivshankar show, yes, there was a lapse, but I will also say, thank God you have the Modi government at the helm of affairs. 10/11 will be avenged.
Okay.
Operation
No, no,
Sindoor.
no,
I don't want to go down this route. One
The
second,
Home
one second.
Minister resigned.
I just don't
The
want to
Chief
go down.
Minister
One second.
resigned.
I don't want to
They
go
took
down
the
this route.
responsibility.
Yes,
What is
Mr.
the
Jain.
government doing?
Mr. Jain, very quickly make your clarification and we can move on. Yes, please.
Rahul, the government has not. If the government is saying that these people were not homegrown terrorists, they are essentially saying that these people have crossed from the border and come into India and carried out this terror attack. If they're saying that they were indeed homegrown terrorists, they have to answer how did such radicalization and cultivation of terrorists happen on Indian soil. They have to answer how did 3,000
Okay,
kgs
so
of explosives
viewers,
come
one
into
second,
being.
one
Rahul,
second. Viewers
Rahul,
today,
Rahul, that
today,
Rahul
no,
Kumar
one
has
second.
not
Let
been
me,
convicted by any court, and his name
Fair
was
enough.
not there on the poster. He was not part of the
Rahul,
organization
okay,
of the
fine.
rally for
He
the
was,
Control
Condemn
Rally.
I take it
You
all
have
back.
to set the
I
record
take
straight.
it all
You
back.
have to
I
ask
take it
questions.
all back, sir.
You have to
Have
ask
the
questions of the
guts.
NSA.
Nikhil
Very
Jain,
well.
Nikhil Jain,
Very well.
I'm not
Direct
interested in
exam
getting
ko
into,
condemn
one
karo.
second, lower everyone's favors. I'm not interested in getting in this tutu meme. For the interest of this debate, chalo, I'll concede. Forget it, viewers. It won't make me smaller.
say that
But you
so
know what
that
I'll
you
tell
don't-
you?
you can
But you know
take
what
that
I'll
as a
tell you,
plea in the
viewers?
defamation
You know
case.
what I'll tell you? Listen, I don't care. I've had several of them. You can lock me up even now. And you represent me, actually.
Fair enough.
One second. You're such a great lawyer. One minute, viewers. The fact of the matter is, and these are important facts, you have a whole ecosystem today standing with these terrorists, trying to give excuses and alibis for why they have acted. And you have to begin to ask yourself, viewers, in which country would these individuals be categorized as patriots? And is this freedom of expression? Just think about it. I leave it at this. Viewers, I need to move on because there's another big debate, and that is actually going to be amplified tomorrow. And this, viewers, is a debate that is taking place on the back, really, of what has been a frenetic campaign in Bihar. Now, viewers, democracies work because the people have a say. Their vote counts. But what if contestants decide to ignore the people? In other words, disrespect their wishes. Something like this happened in US in 2020. Then the supporters of Donald Trump, who had lost the election, refused to accept the outcome and stormed the US Capitol, the cradle of its democracy. Why? Because certain American Trump supporters were told without proof that their vote was stolen. If you've been observing politics for the last 6 months in India, you will recognize that something like this is happening in India too. After whipping up hysteria over the Election Commission's poll revision exercise, which was compared to a vote loot, now the opposition is suggesting that the EC is working with the NDA to rig the outcome. Hundreds of RJD supporters and some candidates descended upon the EC strong room in Rohtas district of the state, alleging that officials were moving, quote, manipulated EVMs, unquote, in trunks into the counting center. And you can see those pictures. The officers disproved the RJD's claims by opening each and every trunk. And as you can see in those pictures, they were empty. But that hasn't stopped the RJD or other parties of the opposition from fanning rumors, fears, and disinformation. Sample this. Quote, this time they, that the NDA, will make all attempts to slow down the counting of votes. They will create fear in district headquarters. They will take out a military flag march across all districts in Bihar to murder democracy so that there is fear in the people, unquote. Then Sunil Kumar Singh, RJD spokesperson, the electorate has voted for change this time. 2025 will see Tejaswi Yadav sweep to power. In 2020, counting was stopped for 4 hours. If this time something like this is repeated, the streets will explode in anger like they did in Nepal, unquote. The RJD says, why was a truck allegedly loaded with EVMs sneaked into a counting center in Sasaram, which is the picture that I was showing you, by the district administration without any prior notice or transparency? Krishna Alavarappu of the Congress says the concern is not only during counting but also before. There are reports of discrepancies. We have put all the facts before everyone, unquote. Sanjay Singh says, I've been saying one thing clearly, that vote theft will have profound effect on the outcome of this election. It's undeniable that 80 lakh votes have been stolen in Bihar. Now, some would say the remarks are an incitement to violence, which is supremely ironic as the opposition claims it is the guardian of the constitution in India. How does this call for anarchy square with that promise, viewers? Let's ask that fundamental question. And let me bring in Dr. Sumansi Raman. Dr. Raman, if the outcome goes against tomorrow, against the MGB, would you attribute it to all these things that these leaders are suggesting it could come down to? Vote chori and so forth?
Rahul, first of all, I think we need to understand that the Election Commission faces a very serious trust deficit. At the very least, what Rahul Gandhi and the many of the opposition leaders have established is that voter rolls across states are a mess. There are duplicate votes, and there are votes which of people with wrong IDs, with wrong names. All of that has been conclusively established. Now, does that translate into vote chori? No, to me it does not. But having said that, what has been the reaction of the Election Commission to each of these? It has hardly inspired any kind of confidence in the system. So I think that this trust deficit is what is making the opposition parties even more concerned, and they see a conspiracy in every single move. So a lorry turns up, even if there are empty boxes inside that lorry, there is panic all around, and people think something is going on.
Okay.
So you have to understand that this trust deficit has to be addressed. And no, if you say I will not release CCTV footage, we will not give it to you in.
So can I ask you a question? Very quick follow-up question, Dr. Raman.
Yeah.
Very quick follow-up question. If tomorrow the MGB wins a handsome victory, what happens then?
No, these issues remain. What Rahul Gandhi spoke about Mahadevpura or Aland or
how will these issues be corrected?
These issues need to be corrected by the Election Commission on coming clean.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
It happens through transparency.
The
Election Commission has got 1 minute, Rahul. Do you or do you not agree that election rolls have discrepancies which have been pointed out? Let's not get into vote chori. Let's not get into whether false votes.
No.
Do you agree or not? Yes or
of course,
yes or
everyone knows. Listen to me.
Everyone
1 second,
knows
Dr. Raman. The one way of curing this. Yes, 1 second. The one way of curing this. The one way of curing this is through an SIR, which I don't know why the opposition is opposing, but that's a separate question. But I want to ask you, is there a link between this and vote chori? Because that is what it's coming down to. So I'm asking you this. Is there a link, yes or no?
Look, Rahul, my point is very
simple. Is there a link, yes or no?
1 minute. If somebody is taking efforts to manipulate the electoral rolls, there must be some reason. You can't just manipulate.
Now 1 second. Quick response. Quick response.
So far they have not established. 1 second, let me finish.
They have not established, right?
They have not established.
So they have not established. I'm glad.
Fraudulent voting.
Yes, okay. So if they have not established, and I've seen your sensible
manipulating the electoral roll.
Okay, but I have seen your very sensible ex-post making that distinction. That's why you're here, Dr. Sumansi Raman, and thank you very much for clarifying that. So why are these political parties then going out there and talking about vote chori through this process? Because you see viewers. Because you see viewers.
There must be a reason.
No, because you see viewers.
Somebody
1
just for the
second.
heck of it manipulate electoral roll.
So 1 second, Dr. Raman, there are other ways of addressing this issue,
Can I come in?
which is to file an affidavit, which they have not done, a sworn one within a deadline that was set. Nothing of that has been done. Anyhow, yes. Ms. Sanju Verma, quick response, and I want to move on to the next. Yeah.
If those errors are
now, please,
established
Mr.
in the Election
Raman,
Commission,
I
then
heard Rahul. I don't understand. What is this? You say quick, Sanju Verma, and then Mr. Sumant Raman interjects.
Yeah, okay. So
You had your say.
Yeah.
Now
okay.
let me speak.
Okay, go ahead. Make your point.
Yeah, I'm making my point, and I'll be as quick as possible. Let's get one thing very, 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 very clear. The Election Commission invited Rahul Gandhi to come and put forth his suggestions, his feedback, his allegations, what have you, on the 17th of June. Rahul Gandhi MIA. On the 21st of July, Rahul Gandhi MIA. On the 13th of August, Rahul Gandhi MIA. On the 8th of September, Rahul Gandhi MIA. The Election Commission invited Rahul Gandhi on 4 separate occasions. Rahul Gandhi obviously knows if he meets the Election Commission, his bluff will be called out. Doodh ka doodh aur pani ka pani hoga. Point number 1. Very quickly, Rahul. You can add voters only after filling in Form 6. You can delete voters only after filling in Form 7A. And after polling is held in every polling station, Form 17C is given by the returning officer to the polling agent of the ruling party candidate and the opposition candidate. So were opposition BLAs snoozing for the last 1 year in Haryana? Rahul Gandhi wakes up after 1 year and says Haryana mein chori hui hai. He wakes up after 15 months and says Maharashtra mein chori hui hai. I want
Okay.
to ask one simple question very quickly. Wait, Rahul. There was a 64-day window in Haryana between declaration
We know
of
that.
final roll and the day the polling was held.
So let me
Why
just
those
ask a baseline
64 days
question.
were not used?
Okay,
I
Mr.
don't
Jain, let
understand
me
this.
ask you a baseline question without getting into these technicalities. Just wanted to ask a baseline question about tomorrow. Mr. Jain, if you were to lose, will you accept the outcome of this election? Yes or no? Simple.
Rahul, the questions that have been raised by the opposition will continue to loom whether the opposition wins or whether the opposition
Okay. Will you accept
loses.
the verdict as
These
a
are
fair
very-
verdict? Yes, no?
Obviously, nobody can accept the verdict as a fair
Okay,
verdict.
that's
Even if
it.
the
That's it.
opposition wins,
Viewers,
I'm not
I'll
going to
rest
call
it
a
at
fair
that.
election.
I'll leave it at that.
Because
Tomorrow,
it
be
was
No, but
not a
prepared.
there is
fair
a
election.
problem.
It
Be
was not a
prepared.
fair
There is a
election.
problem,
Ask the reporters
Rahul.
Be
who were on
prepared
the
tomorrow. Be prepared tomorrow to link SIR to vote chori, which something that even Dr. Raman says has not been substantially proven. But tomorrow it will happen, viewers, if in case the MGB loses. If they win, of course, will they give the EC full marks? No, viewers. They'll continue it for the next election also. Anyhow, let's move on, viewers, because what is going to be the result tomorrow? Is the Bihar election in the NDA's bag? All the exit polls seem to think so. Not one has predicted a loss. At least pollsters who operate at the national level have not predicted a loss. Even the Satta Bazaar is rooting for the NDA. One poll has, however, said, two polls, however, said that it could be a near thing and that a few X factors are at play. Here's what the pollsters mean. Prashant Kishore's Jan Swaraj polls 2% more than what the two other polls, which are the Axis poll and the voter vibe poll, have suggested he'd get about 4 to 5%. But if he gets more than that, it's going to be problematic for the NDA. Amongst the youth, women between 18 and 29 vote as a bloc for MGB. If that happens, problem. Mukesh Sahani's Nishad, Mala and Kevat Kas and Indrajit Prasad Gupta, Tanti, Tantwa and Pan Kas vote for the MGB. That could also lead to a change. Let's put this to test. Amitabh Tiwari, founder of Vote Vibe, and Pradeep Gupta, chairman and managing director of Access My India, are with us. Let me first begin with you, Pradeep ji. Pradeep ji, what happens if women voters vote just like they did last time in 2020 and the gap was just 1% in favor of NDA despite a higher voter turnout? What would happen?
ऐसे नहीं है, पिछली बार भी गैप दोनों के 37% आए थे, क्लोज कॉन्टेस्ट था। इस बार भी 2% का गैप हमारे उसमें दिया गया है। बट इसमें देखने वाली बात ये होती है कि जो महागठबंधन का वोट शेयर होता है सीमांचल में, हम सबको पता है मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन इज इन द एक्सीडिंग ऑफ 50%। तो जो बड़े नंबर्स आते हैं परसेंटेज के लिहाज से एंड गठबंधन के लिए, उसके वजह से आप वोटर के परसेंटेज में देख पाते हैं। बट सीटों के लिहाज की बात करें तो वैसा नहीं होता है। हाँ, लेकिन एक बात जरूर है, इस बार जो ये 10% वोट का इंक्रीज हुआ है, 6% तो ठीक है, समझ सकते हैं कि वोटर प्यूरिफिकेशन प्रोसेस के चलते हुआ है, SIR के चलते हुआ है। 20 lakhs has been diseased and about 28 lakhs is permanently migrated. That contributes 6%, but that is despite of that 4% incremental in voter turnout from 57 last time to 67 this time is something interesting to be seen. Those 4% incremental, what is the combination of them? The age group, the demography, complete demography, age, caste combination, male, female, etc., etc. This is something happened the first time historically, and the emergence of new party of Prashant Kishore. These are the two things which had never been there in the Bihar election, in the process. So this is something is one has to look for.
Okay, one has to look for that. Okay, would you like to take that same question, Amitabh ji?
So, in investment banking parlance, or whenever we used to give the market price forecast for any share, we use the term risk factors, correct? So, these X factors, I will like to call it as risk factors to whatever projections Vote Vibe or any other agency has made. And one of the very valid points you've made is that what happens if the alpha or if the advantage which everybody is showing with respect to the woman voter for the NDA, if that gap reduces, then what happens? Yes. So this is one of the risk factor to the projections made by VoteVibe or any other agency, that if the gap between the women support for NDA and Mahagathbandhan is not huge, when I say not huge, is just 1 or 2%, just like it was in 2020, then it can become tricky for the NDA, because as per VoteVibe survey, around 5% vote share lead to the NDA is coming just from the female support, because amongst males, the Mahagathbandhan enjoys a 2% vote share lead.
Okay. My second question, Pradeep ji, are the parties like the VIP party and the IIP party that are allies of RJD being under-assessed because they are catered to by the most backward castes, the ECBs, who tend to be quite silent voters? Pradeep ji.
No, see, I'll tell you, Rahul, that VIP party and particularly the belonging is the Malla community, which represent about 4% in total. See, in our poll, they are likely to poll less than NDA. Even if they are at par, it's not going to make much of a difference. You're getting my point, because the total share number is only 4% points. So even if one get 2 and another get 2, or it can be 3, the one side, the one the other side, is not going to make much of a difference in that sense.
Okay, so you don't think. Amitabh ji, on that question, what do you believe?
No, see, largely, if you see, I mean, this time in our VoteVibe survey, we are giving almost 42% vote share to the Mahagathbandhan. So that is almost 3.5% higher than what the Mahagathbandhan received in 2020, even after adjusting for the VIP, because VIP had almost 1.5-2% vote. So that is almost 4% actually higher than what the Mahagathbandhan received in 2020 Vidhan Sabha elections. And the Malla community and the Pan Samaj, to which the IIP largely caters to, is largely 2.5, 3%, 3.5% of the entire population of Bihar. So I think these smaller parties largely have been accounted for, because what happens in EBCs is that the Malla community or the Pan community, the IIP party, is not the leader of the EBC community. In EBC, there are 112 subcaste groups. Only 5 groups are more than 2% of population. So, due to the fact that the Pan Samaj or the Malla Samaj is not the leader of the EBC community, the other EBC communities may not necessarily veer towards the Mahagathbandhan just because Mukesh Sahni has been announced as Deputy CM. This will largely be restricted to the Malla community. Also, what is happening is that the Malla community also is considered to be an aggressive community by certain sections of the EBC. So that is also leading to some sort of a counter consolidation, you can say, amongst the lower EBCs, and EBCs largely continue to back the JDU and the BJP-led alliance, because it is the only alliance which actually is projecting a non-Yadav OBC or a EBC CM face.
Okay, so now the main question, Pradeep ji, the Kishore factor, the Prashant Kishore factor, what is the pain threshold for the NDA?
See, Prashant Kishore in our poll is likely to secure his party 4% vote share, and large number of this 4% coming from the NDA fold, and that to the upper caste, the Bhumiyars, the Rajput, the Brahmins. This is the larger section of this chunk out of this 4% point is coming from the NDA, and the much lower percent, which is about a 1% coming from the other side. So if Prashant Kishore start doing good, when I say good, I am referring to he exceed the 6 percentage points, then our lower range should hold good. And if Prashant Kishore secure less than 4% vote, and let's say the 2% only, then it will be 160 plus for the NDA.
Okay, so Amitabh Tiwari, what do you make of this? It's not as if Prashant Kishore is only given one caste, etc., tickets. He's given them pretty much all across. So, what is the pain threshold? What do you think?
We have projected a 5% vote share for Jan Suraj party. In 2020 Vidhan Sabha elections, there are
Right.
83 seats where the victory margin is less than equal to 5%.
Right.
37 were won by the NDA and 38 by the Mahagathbandhan, almost 8 by others. Now, if the Jansuraj polls anything above 5%, what happens is that these 83 seats or the 52 seats where the victory margin was less than 5,000 come into the picture. The Jansuraj tactically has placed 92 upper caste and Baniya community candidates and 52 Muslim Yadav candidates. So the damage which Jansuraj is likely to do is to both the NDA and the Mahagathbandhan, and on a net basis, it could be more to the NDA, largely because of the aspirational class voter and the middle class voter, apart from the poor voters, which it largely appeals to. So I would say anything above 5% actually could disturb the calculations of either of the alliances, because then it could play the role of a spoiler on these 83 seats, or even if we consider 52 seats.
So,
and then the role of Jansuraj would come into play in deciding who ultimately wins that seat.
Okay, so the two gentlemen, the two pollsters have given us something to ponder, and there are two basic indices we have to look at tomorrow and track them. Number one, which way are the women voters going to go? And secondly, viewers, the impact of Jan Swaraj. If it begins to cross 5% and so forth, then every percent over that becomes problematic for the NDA. At least that's what they believe. I leave it at this, viewers. Join us in 8 hours. We'll be live with wall-to-wall coverage, the fastest results, the most accurate results, viewers, verified results, so you have the hard facts. I leave it at this. Thank you.
We're going to be fast. We have the live result hub, but more than that, we are going to be dead accurate. We are all set and ready to go. It's going to get intense, and we are ready for it.
Our viewers rely on us to be the best. If not us, then who?
Presented by. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The Mahagathbandhan securing 98 to 118 seats. Prashant Kishore's Jan Swaraj party is expected to win between 0 and 2 seats. The poll also indicates NDA could maintain 45% support among women voters compared to 40% for the Mahagathbandhan, keeping its core Mahila